Hello and welcome to our live welcome and Q&A for our November 2020 Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman course. I'm so excited to have you all here and have this opportunity to welcome you to the class and explain how the class will work and answer some of your questions I'm sure a lot of you have. First, I like to always just kind of set the groundwork for how our course is going to work. I am big on, and I know a lot of you have been watching me on YouTube for a while, so I'm hoping that you already have kind of identified this is how the course is going to work. But I really want you guys to take this time in this class, in these 3 weeks, to really deprogram your brain from some things that maybe you've done in the past, as far as joining online groups or joining weight loss programs or diet groups or competitions or whatever it is that have been done in the past. And I want you to just let all of that go. And I want you to enter into this class opportunity and this opportunity with a fresh mindset and a fresh approach to how it is you want to take care of yourself moving forward. You might have noticed there's not a lot of prep work to do in this course. There's a whole lot of nothing to do except just listening to the signs and signals that your body is sending you and thinking about decisions you are making and how that is affecting you and how you show up for yourself. So there's no meal prep, there's no major grocery shopping hauls that you need to do. Maybe get a little bit of water. But there's not a lot to do. There's no before pictures. There's no weigh-ins. There's none of that. None of that is going to determine if you're successful with creating this lifestyle for yourself. The success for you will be if you can reframe your brain and reframe your mindset into allowing yourself the opportunity to start asking yourself some questions and figuring out if what you're doing is actually working for you. So this is going to be a completely different type of opportunity, I think, for a lot of you, and I'm really excited for you. So some things really quickly. Your course lessons start tomorrow. And what tomorrow is an opportunity for us to just designate a very specific fasting protocol and feasting protocol. And I know a lot of you are coming in with some fasting experience and are feeling a little bit frustrated with what you've done in the past. I've read a lot of your welcome comments in the group, and it sounds like everyone's kind of starting on the same page. You want the opportunity to figure out what's going on with your body and how intermittent fasting can help you. And so that's where I want you to really trust this process. We have done this exact course every single month for the past 4 years. So it's proven to work when you go all in and you trust this process. For some women joining us this month, the process of going from, maybe not fasting at all or maybe fasting for 16 hours and jumping into a 20-hour clean fast is not going to feel comfortable. And that's a really good sign, right? That's a sign that your body is trying to hold you in a place where you're not feeling confident or comfortable with what's going on in your body. And we're going to break that. We're going to break that comfort zone and create a new one by extending our fasting window. There's other women in the course who are probably fasting for 20 hours and maybe feeling stuck also. And that's where I need you to really trust this process and trust what a clean fasted state can do for you, and what considering how you make choices in your feasting window will determine how you're going to feel for your next fast. So I really like to approach what we're doing at this stage in our life for the opportunity for our tomorrows and really learning how to let go of a lot of the things we have that we have been dragging with us from the past, right? So everything that you do and every decision you make and every question you ask, I want you to be thinking about the future and making forward leading decisions for yourself. So when you feast, how will your fast feel for you tomorrow? When you make this decision about doing something, how is that going to make you look and feel tomorrow? And how will that allow you the opportunity to show up for yourself? When we think about doing things in the future, when we think about things moving forward, it really does allow us the opportunity for a fresh start. And it really does give us a sense of optimism and empowerment because we get to have a new experience, right? And we're not going to judge anything from our past. We're not going to evaluate anything from our past, and we're not going to set boundaries on ourselves as the women we are today because of something we did in the past. Everything that we are doing is for our future. So make sure you go into this course with that mindset for sure, and don't judge yourself on something that you did 10, 15, 20 years ago. That was the past. It probably didn't work very well for you anyway. So we're going to try everything with a fresh slate. Your course lesson, like I said, starts tomorrow. My goal and my hope is that most of you will jump into 20 hours of fasting starting tomorrow night and going into Monday. And then that's just the course that you will take for your fasting and feasting protocol throughout the duration of this course. In the course, I recommend starting with the 16-hour fast because there are also some of you in this course who are going to feel really intimidated and really nervous about fasting in general, especially clean fasting, because that really does require your body to trust this process and get you through the humps that are going to come the first couple of days. So start where you are most comfortable, but also start in a place that you know is going to create the change that you're hoping for. If you're comfortable at a 16-hour fasting window right now, you're going to have to get yourself to the point where you're a little bit uncomfortable to get to the next step, right? So if you're comfortable and not happy with the results, then you have to get a little bit uncomfortable so that you can get a new set of results. So keep that in mind when you're trying to decide how you're going to set up your fasting protocol moving forward. Everything that you have a question about, I guarantee you, is going to be answered in the course. So just be patient. One of the things that I have found being a coach for women for the past 30 years or so, and a lot of the consult calls and one-on-one coaching that I do with women, is that and this is my personality as well, which is why I've designed this course this way, is that we want the end result right now. Right? And we want to get ourselves to the end result included. And what I learned when I was going through this process, that giving my body the time and consistency it needed to really make the changes that I needed to change were the long-lasting results that I have today. So I want you to be patient. I want you to know that this is not a race to the finish line at the end of this course at 3 weeks. No one is going to require to send an after picture or after weight result or have to pronounce whether they were successful or not successful. None of that stuff matters. I want you to leave this course with a new mindset about how to take care of yourself. And I want you to have a new feeling about how your life is progressing forward. And I want you to have the opportunity to use this time in class as a sounding board for the decisions you're going to make for the future. That's the goal of this course, is to really change our mindset about everything that we have to look forward to. So I just wanted to make sure we got that out of the way. Your course lessons are released to you every single day at 1 a.m. Central Standard Time. And I do it at that time because we have an international base of students who join us every month, which is always so exciting. And so I want to make sure that we picked a time that was going to be, easy for everyone to have an opportunity to be on schedule with everyone else in class, regardless of where you're joining us from. So they'll be available every morning at 1 a.m. Central Standard Time. So when you wake up in the morning, just make sure that you have created some sort of schedule or some sort of habit that you're going to check your daily lesson every single day. You should get an email from me reminding you that a new lesson is available. However, I have noticed that some of you in this course in November are unsubscribed from my email list. So if you find that you're not receiving emails from me, the best thing that you can do is go into your course settings. So you go there by going to the fortoday'sagingwoman.com. Make sure you're logged in the upper right-hand corner where the little avatar symbol is. There's a settings tab. Just make sure that you have check marks in all 3 of the email boxes, and then you'll be back into my email stream. Make sure you're checking your promotions folder. Make sure you're checking your spam folder, all of the extra folders, just because of everything that's going on in the world today, and especially here in the United States. I know there's a lot of email systems that are getting bombarded. And so you might have to do a little research to find my emails, but you will be emailed every day. If for some reason you are not getting my emails, the best advice I can give you is put a reminder on your phone that you are in a course and that every single day you need to check that course for new content. I do ask that as women, we are responsible for our own outcome in this course as well. So it is my expectation of everyone who has made the commitment and the financial investment in themselves, that you will do the work, that you will show up every day, you will consider the lessons that I have put in the course, and you will experiment with your own life and then determine what works best for you and what doesn't. That's what I hope for all of us here in this course. So do the work and show up for yourself. I say all the time that I ask that you go all in. Go all in. I want everyone who's here with us today on day 1 to be with us on day 21 as well. And the women who go all the way through their commitment and get to the end of this course and actively engage in our community and actively support the other women in our course are the ones that come back, and you've seen them in our YouTube lives and our Facebook lives, that have long lasting results because they have made a commitment to make a change, because what they were doing before was no longer working for them and they found a new lifestyle. So go all in. Don't sell yourself short, please. This investment should be an investment that lasts the test of time for you. And then all you need to do is just make decisions that meet you where you are in your life. Some things about clean fasting I always like to recommend and really help you guys get your head around, because I know there's so much conflicting information about what you can do and what you can't do. I always like to assume that if you're here in this course, that you're struggling with something that's going on with your body hormonally and chemically. And when we have those things that are out of balance in our body, we need to get it back into balance. The best way to get our bodies back into balance chemically and hormonally is a clean fast. And this is how I define a clean fast. It is a fast where you put nothing in your body that could cause a chemical or hormonal reaction. And those things are water that is unflavored, so no flavored or enhanced waters, nothing in your water, no lemon water, no apple cider vinegar water, no essential oils in your water, nothing in your water except water and or coffee and tea. And coffee and tea has the same rule. Your coffee needs to be black, unflavored, no hazelnut, no stevia, no creamer, nothing, just black coffee. The same thing goes for teas. If you have tea, it's an herbal tea, it can't have any essence in it of flavor whatsoever. So it could be a green tea, it could be a black tea, it could be a whatever color tea you want it to be, but the tea leaves have to be pure tea leaves that have not been enhanced with any type of flavors. The reason so many of us are struggling, even when we're fasting, is because we don't understand how hypersensitive our body is to things that we put in it, as far as how our insulin is responding. And so for a lot of us, we're insulin resistant, right? We're having trouble losing weight, we're hoarding body fat, and we're fasting, and we think that we're doing a good thing. But when you're insulin resistant, your body is hyper reactive to everything that you put in it or around it, right? So we need to just get that down to as clean as we can for a period of time. And 3 weeks seems to be that period of time that's working for us, where we allow our body to tap into reserves with no new responses during our fasting window. That is why I'm so adamant about a clean fast while you're in our course with us. Once you become insulin sensitive again, once you're feeling like your body is responding and reacting to the things that you're doing in your life, and you're happy with how your body is for you and the choices that you're making, then you can have some flexibility and you can let some things in your fasted state that we call a dirty fast. But again, once you start noticing that your body stopped responding to what you're doing in your fasting, you have to get back to that clean fasted state. So I do want you guys to experiment when you get out of class with some dirty fasting, if that's what you feel like you want to do. But always know a clean fast is the best way to reset and balance out your hormones and what's going on as far as chemical responses in your body. Again, we've done this for 4 years. It works every single time you commit to those clean fasts for those 20 hours while you're in class. What I also like you to do is really pay attention to what you do when you break your fast and in your feasting window. Again, I'm not here to tell you how to eat as grown women. You know what foods work for you. You know what foods fit into your lifestyle. You know what foods fit into your family's customs and the traditions that you have. You also know the foods that are probably holding you back from looking and feeling your best. When you are in a clean fasted state for 20 hours and you enter into your feasting window, your body will very loudly and very clearly let you know which foods are working for you and which foods are not working for you. You will get signs and signals. A lot of times you feel fatigued, or you get a headache, or you just feel bad the next morning when you wake up. I want you to journal what it is that you are doing in your feasting window so you can start identifying some of those foods that might not be serving you right now. The good news about nutrition is that once you reset your body, some of those foods that might be causing you problems today when you're out of balance might not cause you problems once your body is in balance. So I always ask that you revisit foods and revisit nutritional things that maybe you enjoyed before but were causing you problems, because once your body is settled out, they may no longer cause you problems. And that has been the case for me and so many other women in our course as well. Prescription medication. If you are currently taking medicine that is prescribed by your physician, you have to continue taking that medication, even if it is in your fasting window. The best advice I can give women who are on prescription medication that is lifestyle related, meaning you're on medication for thyroid that's out of balance, or maybe you're on medication for diabetes, or you're on medication for blood pressure. All those types of medications are what I call lifestyle medications, meaning that you change your lifestyle, there's an opportunity for you to no longer have to be on that medication. So you have to take it while you are under the care of your physician. You just do what you have to do, with the hopes that fasting long and feasting well will get your body into that place where you will start to normalize and balance yourself back out. I can tell you that there have been many, many women in our community who are no longer on prescription medications, who started just like you on a prescription medication. Once their body balanced out, they no longer needed it, and they worked with their doctor to slowly decrease what it is they were taking and eventually get to the point where they're no longer taking it. So there's hope. Even if you have to take it in your fasting window while you're in class, there is hope that you will eventually get to the point where you could be off of it. We have had surgeries canceled, pain reduction, pain elimination, like you name it in this course. And it's amazing the results that women are getting once they give their body an opportunity to just rest and heal itself. So be optimistic and really take this time in class to do what I like to call fasting like your life depends on it. So if there's something that's going on with your body that you're not happy with, focus on that and see what this 3 weeks can provide for you. We've even had skin conditions that were deemed unhealable totally disappear on women while they were in our course. So I can't promise what's going to happen for you, but I can promise that if you go all in, you will definitely notice some positive changes. So look forward to that as well.
Pregnancy warning.
Oh, thanks for my husband just reminded me. There's also been women in our course who have surprisingly conceived children, and other women who, which was a shock, and had no intentions of having any more children. And there were also women who had been struggling for very long times with infertility issues who have also become pregnant. And that was the happy thing for a lot of women. So if you feel like your hormones are out of balance, and part of this process is to balance your hormones, just be warned that if you are not doing anything to if you don't want any more children, I would be careful about, making those precautions available to you. And if you've been struggling with maybe infertility issues, there's some hope because there have been women who have gone through our course who have also been able to conceive as well. So thanks for the reminder on that. We don't need any more keto-like die babies. If you're done having kids, it is a shocker in your 50s when you conceive a child and you had no longer planned on having any more kids. So be warned that your hormones will balance out for sure. What else? We did the coffee, we did the water, we did the prescription. Oh, supplementation. So I know a lot of us, and I'm a big fan of supplementing my nutrition and my lifestyle. But we can tend to become what I call supplementation junkies, right? Or what I also like to say, supplementation desperation. Like we're desperately taking supplements, hoping that that's going to be the magic pill, the thing that's going to fix everything for us. And what I can tell you is supplements don't work that way. You really have to balance out your body and start from like ground zero, and then introduce supplements to see if they help you once your body is balanced out. So I do ask while you're in the course to, if it's not doctor prescribed, to put your supplements on the shelf, save yourself a little bit of money, and see how your body has an opportunity to work on its own rhythm, right? Work on its own circadian rhythm, work on just doing what it's been designed to do when you get out of its way. Then at the end of the course, what I really ask that you do is slowly introduce your supplements again and see if they're working as advertised. A lot of times when we're so out of balance and we're taking all kinds of things to try to fix what's not working for us, we don't know if they're working or not, and we don't know how our body is supposed to get up and go to sleep at night because we're supplementing and adding in all these like false energies and then false like relaxation type of things at the end of the night. So give your body a break. Let it just figure out how to run on its own accord. Save yourself 3 weeks of taking supplements. And then at the end, slowly start introducing your supplements again and see how they make your body feel. If you feel like they're working as advertised, then that's a supplement that's working for you. If you're taking them and you don't notice any difference, or you're not getting the signs and signals as advertised for that one thing, then it might just be one of those things that you no longer have to invest in because your body figured out how to do that thing for itself. So let's get back to baseline and then start introducing things. I also ask the same thing about food. Like if you find that a food is aggravating you or making you not feel your best or making your fasting more difficult the next day, just put it on the shelf for a little while. And then once you feel like your body's balanced out, you introduce it back in and then give it what I call the 7-day test. Introduce it for 7 days, see how you feel. If you're feeling like you're heading in the right direction, then that food's working for you. If you feel like it's stalling you or taking you backwards, then that might be a thing you need to keep on the shelf for a little while. What else? Again, in the feasting window, I don't tell you what to eat. You have all been given my intermittent feasting guide. If you haven't received it, I'll repost it in your community group so you can download it or take a look at it. I was just thinking the other day, like last week we ate, I think 4 meals out of that feasting guide, and I made that feasting guide like 2 years ago. So that feasting guide stands the test of time. It's very simple, everyday family style meals that you can make that aren't a lot of work, don't cost a lot of money, and will help you serve your body. They're very baseline plant-based with animal protein on top. So if you're a vegan or you want to go more plant-based, it's super easy to exchange and move in animal protein if you need it or take it out, and the meal will still be the same. So if you haven't gotten the feasting guide, I'll post it later today so you can download it or just save it on your phone or your computer. Again, those are the things I still eat today almost every week. And like I said, last week, I think we had 3 or 4 meals out of that feasting guide. So they work and they're super easy and your family will love them. Everyone in my family eats them. But I won't tell you what to eat every day. There's no meal plan. It's not that you have to eat 6 ounces of this or 4 ounces of that. You do not have to become a vegan. You do not have to become plant-based. You do not have to become a carnivore. You do not have to follow a ketogenic diet. You figure out food for you. And the goal of this course is to help you just take the stress out of food and help you become comfortable around the choices that you're making in your feasting window because you're thriving in your fasted state, right? And that's a little backwards from what a lot of people teach about intermittent fasting. A lot of people teach, I have fasted, therefore I'm going to feast. And the feasting window is where we get into trouble because we think we can eat whatever we want. And I'm going to be here to tell you that is just not true. You cannot eat whatever you want, right? You have to figure out what you want and then eat to get to the want, right? So I want to be happy and healthy. I want to be energized. I want to wake up every morning looking and feeling my best. And I just can't eat pizza and donuts and barbecue potato chips in my feasting window and have that. So I have defined how it is I want to show up for myself, and my nutrition gets me to that point. And just because I fasted does not mean that my feasting window is open game and I can do whatever I want, because trust me, I would not be looking and feeling my best if I did that, because I would really love to eat donuts every day and I just can't do that anymore. So you have to figure out how it is you want to show up for yourself and then pick the nutritional choices that will get you that end result. The beautiful thing about this lifestyle is once you get your body balanced out, there is some flexibility in that feasting window, and there is some flexibility in this lifestyle. So you can go on vacation and you don't necessarily have to fast for 20 hours a day. You can go to a dinner party and loosen the reins and enjoy what it is that you want to have at a dinner. And then you come back to your next day and you just fast for your 20 hours and you get your body back on track. So it is a very flexible lifestyle, but you have to reset your body first in order to be able to take advantage of that. I'm going to share with you the waters that I recommend as well. Again, mineralized water is highly recommended because when you're in a fasted window for 20 hours, you are cutting out a lot of the opportunities to get minerals into your body. That's just a fact because you're doing nothing. So the best way to make sure that you stay hydrated and the best way to make sure that you become mineral efficient is to add minerals into your body. Minerals do not break a fast. So know that if you're taking something, drinking water, or you're adding mineral drops into your water that have magnesium, calcium, potassium, and sodium, which are the 4 that I recommend, you are not breaking your fast. You're actually enhancing your fast because those things will also help you kind of get your hunger hormones in balance and really help you thrive in that fasted state. So my favorite, most of you probably know, is Mountain Valley. This orange one right here is spring water that is flat, meaning there is no carbonation in this. It just has magnesium, potassium, and calcium. So this one does not have sodium in it. It is my favorite. It tastes the best. You can find it at, I think, most grocery stores. We have a delivery service. So if you want to see if you can get it delivered and this is going to be an option for you, that's the best way to go. The other one that's my favorite, I usually drink this in the morning and at night, is the sparkling. It has the blue label on it. This is also spring water. Spring water and mineralized water are interchangeable terms. It means the same thing. So it just is water that's coming from a spring and it has minerals in it. So this is the other one I really like. Another great option you can get everywhere is Pellegrino. You can order this at a restaurant. You can get this at like big box stores in cases. It's Pellegrino. This one has sodium in it. I'm unsure of the calcium, potassium, and magnesium, so you'll have to just look on their website to see what that is. You might have to supplement on the side for that one. But this is another one of our favorites. This is a lighter carbonated drink, so if you're not a big carbonation fan, this is a better one. And then there's also Topo Chico. This is mineralized water as well. Again, this is something that you can order at like restaurants, which is super fun when you go out, or you can get it at big box stores in cases as well. This is another great one. You just want to make sure that you get the unflavored version of this. And then these are the ones I want to warn everyone about. The LaCroix or even San Pellegrino has these now as well that are flavored or enhanced with flavoring. These are the ones that while you're in your fasted state, you really want to avoid drinking. Again, when your hormones are out of balance, insulin being the one that's mostly out of balance, and then our hunger hormones, having this flavor hit your tongue can be enough to cause an insulin response and cause you to be out of your fasted state enough to keep you from getting results. So that will change as you balance out. But while you're in the class, I ask you to only do this in your feasted state if you're going to have flavored water. Some other questions that always come up that kind of freak some people out because they never really considered this before. So I want to just kind of put this at rest too, in case this is a question, is things like mint gum or chewing gum, mints, anything to put something in your mouth, like if your mouth gets dry, or there is a period of time when you're going through what's called the keto flu, or you're transitioning from being a sugar burner to a fat burner where you get keto breath. And your natural inclination is to put something in your mouth. You really want to avoid that and just drink water and just kind of flush out your mouth. Because again, any of those flavors really do ignite your digestive system. And when your digestive system is ignited, your brain gets a signal to get insulin ready to prepare for digestion. So anything that's going to cause a flavor sensation signal to go to your brain is something that you want to avoid. The other question that always comes up is, well, what about brushing your teeth? So I want to address this information with my experience and experience from women in the course, and then let you make your own best decision. And then I'm going to tell you what happens with time and consistency. So toothpaste is another one of those things that could potentially break your fast if your body's hypersensitive and really out of balance. So the way I really like to advise women on brushing their teeth when they're really trying to balance out their hormones is like this. After your last feast for the night, brush your teeth, right? Because you're already in a feasted state and you're at the very beginning of a new fast. So just brush your teeth and mouthwash and do whatever you want to do when you're already in that state of still being feasted. Then go to bed, wake up the next morning and just brush your teeth with water and whatever residual toothpaste might be on your toothbrush. Like, don't put any more paste on there. The first couple of days when your body's still out of balance, excuse me, and you're going through the keto flu, that might not feel very comfortable, but trust me, it's going to be worth it, because after you do that for a couple of days and that just becomes how you care for your body and your dental hygiene, when you wake up in the morning, because you have no bacteria in your mouth, you won't feel like you need to brush your teeth and really disguise your breath. Because remember, bad breath is bacteria buildup in your mouth. So if you don't do anything from the last time you brushed your teeth till you woke up in the morning, you shouldn't have bad breath. Bad breath is just bacteria. So do a really good job of having a really good dental hygiene routine at nighttime. And then in the morning, when you're in the middle of your fasted state, you do not want to risk breaking your fast for toothpaste or mouthwash. All of those are very high in sugar alcohols and very chemically based, and will be that thing that could be throwing you out of getting your best result. I can tell you over time, and again, for me, this has been about 5 years of living like this, is that my dental reports from my dental hygienist have been better and better every year, with the fact that I'm doing less, right? And I know that seems like a big mind warp concept, but the less mouthwash I use, the less toothpaste I'm using, the less carbohydrates I'm consuming, the less time I have food in my mouth that needs to be broken down, the better my dental hygiene has gotten. I just had a consult call with one of my course members who's in my next level course, and she just got the same report back from her dental hygienist as well. And they said, whatever you're doing, keep doing it, because your mouth keeps getting better with age. Think about that. Our mouth, our dental hygiene, our gums, our just overall health is getting better with age, when that is not what the expectation is of an aging woman, right? We anticipate things getting worse with our mouth and our dental health. And there is an opportunity to change that and reverse some of those problems that we have. We just put less bacteria in our mouth, we put less sugary products in our mouth, and then our dental hygiene will get better. It takes a little while to get your head wrapped around that, but I promise you it will pay off in the end. So just think about that when you're doing your morning routine and your nighttime routine. How is this going to change the body chemistry that I have going on in my system? Okay, Michael, can you think of anything else?
Last Supper.
Oh, okay. So we have this thing in our community we call don't engage in the Last Supper. So there's no rules in this course except fast clean and fast long, and then be very aware and open to what you're doing in your feasting window based on the signs and signals your body's sending you. Those are basically all the rules, and show up every day. What I don't want you to do is think that you have to have what's called a Last Supper, either tonight or tomorrow night. Like you're going to oh my gosh, I have these cookies I should probably eat, or these potato chips I probably eat, or those 3 bottles of wine are sitting in there. I probably should just drink them so they don't go to waste. You can eat the cookies. You can eat the potato chips. You can have a glass of wine every night while you're in the class. There are no things that I say are off limits. There are things that I want you to consider. There's a lesson I teach in my graduates course, and it's called What's the One Thing? So I want you to consider, if you're fasting for 20 hours and you're fasting clean, and then you have just said, I'm going to do whatever I want in my feasting window, and you're not seeing and feeling results, what's that one thing that could be holding you back? Is it the glass of wine you're having every night? Is it the fact that you're still allowing yourself to have cookies every day? Is it the one piece of chocolate that you feel like you're craving at night that you just can't say no to? And think about those things. How are they serving you? I always say, I can't think of one woman that I admire physique wise who's probably drinking wine every night, or having that piece of chocolate, or eating cookies and bread every single day, maybe on occasion, right? But every day, if you're making exceptions for those things, those could be the things that are holding you back from what you say you want to have. So consider those things, and why are they so important to you? And if they're not serving the end result that you want, then they might be the things that you put on a boundary type of system, where when I first started this process and I was pre-diabetic, I put fruit on a boundary type system, and I only ate fruit on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and it was one green apple. And I only allowed myself to eat fruit on those days, trying to reverse the sugar problems that I had. And then what I noticed after a while is Tuesdays and Thursdays came and went, and I didn't even miss my fruit. So put some boundaries around those things that you're not willing to 100% give up, but just monitor them and then see how those results are going as well. So there's nothing that's off limits. So you don't need to empty your pantries. You don't need to overhaul your kitchen. You don't need to throw all the things away. You don't need to put your family in shock. Eat with your family and see how that serves you, because emotionally and mentally, we need to be okay with food as well. We don't want to be food phobic women. We want to be women who are mentally and emotionally healthy around food situations. So that means you need to go through that learning process as well. I do have an intermittent feasting guide and journal that is given to you on the 3rd day, because day 1, day 2, and day 3, all I want you to do is practice fasting long and feasting well. And then we'll start downloading the journal on day 3. You do have individual pages you can download. And I emailed you guys where to find the downloads. So make sure you download those on Monday or Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, so you can track your fasting schedule and journal what you're doing as well. It's very important to journal on pen and paper while you're in class, because something is going to happen in your life that's going to throw you off track. And what I want you to have in this journal is a history. I want you to have a proven track record that if I do this, and this by day whatever, I'm going to start feeling good. And I want you to have that to go back to, because life is going to happen. Life is going to throw you a curveball. Here we are sitting in the middle of a pandemic. No one anticipated that. It was a curveball for a lot of people. A lot of people are struggling with their weight. A lot of people are struggling with their health because they didn't have a plan to go back to when things went askew. So use your journal and guide, document your journey so that you have proof that if you do X, Y, and Z for so many days, you can start to look and feel your best. So use your journal and guide and do it on pen and paper for sure. Okay, so let me see if I have any questions or comments. I love all of you welcoming yourself. Use your community as well. Your community is where you are going to really make a commitment to you. Your community is where you are going to hold yourself accountable. There are women who come through this course and community who I feel are my like best friends, because we've interacted with each other. You've tagged me in the comments and we've had dialogue almost on a daily basis. And then there are women who are going to come and go through this course and I'm not even going to know you were here, because you're not participating and you're not showing up for you and you're not holding yourself accountable. So my goal is that I'm feeling like I'm best friends with every single one of you by the end of this course, because you're going to use me. You're going to use me as a coach. You're going to use me as your accountability partner, and you're going to ask me to notice you while you're in the course. So please show up. Please make sure I know who you are. Please be seen by your other course members. That is the beauty of the community of this group, is you're going to realize you're not alone on this. You're not doing anything wrong. You're just a woman going through a season of life, and you have a whole group of women who are going to help support you go through it as well. Nadia, good morning. Oh, Carol Reynolds. Not sure why it's not showing up under my name. Yeah, that's weird. Maybe you have another Google account or something you're signing up under, but it's good to have you with us, Carol. Sherry, did something happen to the connection? The video is paused.
Remember Sherry?
Yeah.
Sherry Tavares and her husband, they should come to our lives all the time. They're back. She's back.
I know. I love having her back. Never mind, it's back. Okay, cool. Alyssa, my GYN has been recommending HRT to me for more than a year, although I'm not symptomatic until recently, hoping to hard reset and avoid HRT altogether. Okay, so yeah, hormone replacement therapy is one of those, I like to call it a controversial subject, but it's really more of an emotional subject for sure. So what I always recommend with hormone replacement therapy is, I mean, there's pros and there's cons to it, right? And there's a lot that happens to us women when we start to stop producing our female hormones. And what you have to do is do your research. Don't let your doctor pressure you into taking hormones to replace what your body's naturally creating a decrease in, unless you are 100% sure that the pros outweigh the cons, right? And there's risks. There's risks to not taking hormones, and there's risks to taking hormones. So you have to make sure that if you do decide to take hormone replacement therapy, that you can lay your head down on your pillow every night and feel confident that they're serving you for what it is they're supposed to serve you for. And the other side is true as well. There are some downsides to not having, female reproductive hormones in your body. And you have to make sure that you're okay with that as well. So do your research for sure, but don't ever feel pressured into taking a prescription that is not life supporting, right? Like if it's not a life threatening situation, make sure you do the research on that as well. And then don't feel pressured. I don't take hormone replacement therapy, but there are some downsides to that as well. So again, talk with your GYN, but it may not be something that is good for you. I know for me, I have a family history of blood clotting with increased levels of estrogen. I had a miscarriage that could have been the case of why that happened. And so for me, the risk is way too high than the benefits will be. So do your research on that as well, and maybe do some family history research as well and see if there's any problems with hormone replacement type of therapy or even birth control pills and those kind of things. I also had my godmother who passed away in her early 20s, and they believe it was from blood clotting from birth control pills. So there's all these signs for me that it's just not a good thing. And so for me, that was just an easy decision, but there are some downsides to that as well. So do your research and then just make sure you make a really good sound decision for your own head and heart. And then I would talk about it with your family members as well. Cindy from Alaska, good to have you. Carol Ann. No, now you're back as Carol, so that's good. Kristen, are there other live videos we need to see daily or weekly? No, this is the only live. Everything else is totally done on your own time. Every video, like I said, will be released at 1 a.m. Central Standard Time. You just make a commitment to view each video every day. They do build on each other. So there is some progression to the way the videos are released with how your body is going to be responding and things we want to do in a very specific sequence. So just check into your course every day. The first week we do intermittent fasting. The second week we do intermittent feasting. And the third week we talk the social and emotional aspects of this lifestyle and how you can really start building some habits and boundaries to make sure you're successful. So you want to make sure you stick with all three. Alicia, appreciate the perspective. Oh, good. Awesome. Okay. And that was for the HRT. Yeah, for sure. So just do your research on that. Again, it's that thing that ultimately has to be your decision, but it is something that I think should be thoroughly researched and very well thought out because there are some risks. And I know that there are some women who have been in our course who have done really well with hormone replacement therapy and swear by it. And then there's been other women in our course who've done hormone replacement therapy and ended up with, cervical cancer and breast cancer and wondered if they didn't do HRT, if that would have been the case. So you have to make sure that you can live with that decision for sure. And then there's people who are, getting breast cancer and other kind of cancers and don't do HRT. So, it has to be that thing that you have to be comfortable with and know that the benefits are going to outseed the risks for sure. Okay. Anything else I can answer for you guys? I'm so excited for you. This is a really good time to be in this course because we're ending a year. We're heading into the holidays. Stress is a big deal for a lot of people. Being disconnected and really distracted is a big deal for a lot of people. So I always say when you're having that kind of season of life where things feel out of control or you feel really distracted, the best thing that you can do is just really zero in on something that you're choosing to control. And you guys have all made the decision to choose to control your health and overall well-being and how it is you want your tomorrows to be. Every decision that you guys make in this course should be, how do I want tomorrow to be? Don't chase something from yesterday that's done and over with. Everything should be based on, how do I want tomorrow to be? And then ask yourself, a series of questions. How long do I want to fast is always a question I say you should ask every day. How well should I feast? And how well should I feast so that my next long fast feels good for me? And then ask yourself some questions when you think about doing something. How has this worked for me in the past? And be very honest with yourself. If something that you're considering doing hasn't worked for you in the past, it sure is not going to work for you in the future. And maybe consider doing it another way. There are going to be a couple of days over this next week where you're going to feel uncomfortable or something's going to feel off for you because you're creating a chemical and hormonal change in your body. I guarantee you, when something feels off, it's because of something that went on in your feast. And it's rarely anything that you have done in your fast, because in your fast, you're doing nothing except drinking water, black coffee, and black tea. And if you're sticking to that pretty religiously and you're not doing anything to interrupt your body's chemistry, then everything that you're feeling that's off should be considered and questioned in what it is you're doing in your feast. So remember that as well, right? And I know it seems like we should just assume it's our fast because that's the thing that's new, but it's usually your feast. And when you let your body reset itself for several hours in a day, and then you introduce something, your body, like I said, is super hyper responsive and reactive to that thing. So consider that. If it didn't feel good and it maybe didn't make you look good, maybe you feel bloated. I know for me, that's how I figured out that a lot of corn additives, corn syrup, corn meal, corn whatever was put in a lot of processed foods was causing me to wake up with painful bags underneath my eyes, right? And I was spending money on creams to get rid of these bags under my eyes. And it was really the result of me putting something in my body, and putting something on my body was not going to fix that. Once I got corn additives out of my diet, the pain in the bags went away. So be very intuitive. Your body's going to send you those signs and signals, and you have to pay attention. You have to be a little bit of researcher, right? And be a little bit of an investigator. Read every single food label. Like when water labels have labels on them, right? Everything that you do when you're in your grocery shopping process, you should not put anything in your cart to purchase until it's passed your ingredients label test. And some things I'll leave you with to look for as far as ingredients go. Some things that we know are problematic to us women, especially going through hormonal and chemical changes, are soy lecithin, soybean oil, soy products of any kind. Those can be very problematic for us women. The other thing we want to consider is the type of dairy we are consuming, as well as gluten. If you are suffering from thyroid issues, whether it's hypo or hyper, gluten and dairy seem to be the two things that are causing big problems with women with thyroid issues. So try to eliminate gluten and dairy as much as possible. Dairy comes in a lot of forms and it's super sneaky. So you have to read nutrition labels. Dairy is not always a glass of cow's milk. Dairy is also in the form of carrageenan and casein and whey proteins. So if you're consuming any of those things, those are dairy as well. So you want to make sure you're reading food labels. And for the course of this 3 weeks, I ask that you really consider how much of that you're getting in your day. You'll see a video in the course where I was 100% in belief that I was soy free. And in that day, I was exposed to soy 15 times as a hidden ingredient in the products that I was consuming throughout my day. And it was making me linger in the feeling of sickness and being totally out of balance hormonally. Once I eliminated that in the hidden ingredient labels, then I started to really look and feel my best. So be diligent about those ingredients labels. Soy lecithin is in your cough syrup, it's in your makeup, it's in your medicines, it's in your vitamins, it's in your bacon, it's in your tuna fish, it's in your mayonnaise, it's in your bread, it's in everything, right? And it could be that one thing that's keeping you in that tinkering zone of not looking and feeling your best. So read every single ingredients label for sure. Do not purchase anything. Do not put it in your cart to purchase until it's passed the test. Once you get that habit down, it's super easy to get in and out of a grocery store and read ingredients labels and determine whether you're going to spend money with a company who's going to be slowly like poisoning you or keeping you in this hormonal state of imbalance. And that's a really, really empowering place to be when you're spending your good, hard-earned dollars on foods that's really going to allow you to look and feel your best. Is this video going to be available to go back and listen to? Yeah, it'll be in your community for the week. I leave it in there up for the week so you guys can look at it. And then if you ever need the link, it's going to be right here on YouTube. You can always come back on YouTube and look at it. So soy lecithin, gluten, and dairy products. Dairy products being casein, carrageenan and whey protein. So for some of you who are drinking whey protein drinks or whey protein smoothies, that could be the thing that's holding you in that inflammatory type of state, or maybe making you feel bloated and keeping you in that state where you can't lose weight and you can't balance out. So consider some options for that. There's lots of vegan options or plant-based options today for smoothie bases or protein shake bases where you don't have to have that whey protein in it. And so I would switch to those if you can. You do not have to be a vegan or a plant-based person to get the benefits of those things. They just take out the whey protein. That's really problematic for us. Whey protein also keeps us constipated and bloated and all those kind of things too. So you want to make sure you can find those as well. So any questions that you guys have that come up this week that I did not address here, please make sure that inside your community group, you use the @ symbol. Start typing DY. My name will pop up. Just click on that. I will get a notification that you have alerted me to something that I need to see, and I will respond to your question or comment. If you don't @ symbol me, I won't see it because I try to have a life also, and I hope you guys are trying to have a life too. I don't live in the community group. I only go in and respond to questions and comments where I'm @tagged. So @tag me, please. And then if you're more comfortable with that kind of stuff, and maybe someone in the course is saying that they're not comfortable with it, and you see a comment that I need to see that's not @tagged, if you @tag me in the comment, I'll get a comment. I'll get an alert as well. So I'm here to serve you as your coach and your guide and your fellow aging woman for the next 21 days. Use the heck out of me. Tag me in that community group. I don't respond to emails, and I won't take private messages while you're in the course. Everything has to be done through the community group because, again, that's just where I'm going to spend my time, and I'm going to look for stuff. And then I also ask that while you're in the course, there's a series of questions I ask you. Do your homework in the course as well. Again, you responding and being proactive to your time in the class will help you stay accountable to the commitment and investment you made in you. The more active you are, the more of a participant you are, the better result you're going to get because you will be mentally and emotionally engaged to your commitment. Works every single time. There's scientific data to prove that. So just trust me on that one. Just show up for yourself. Anything else, Michael?
Did you say when the first fast starts?
Yeah, tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is your first fast. Yeah, you can fast now though. So don't limit yourself to waiting till tomorrow night. This is again part of that Last Supper approach, right? Don't think that tonight is a go all in on all the things that you're not allowed to eat, because you can eat whatever you want. So if you feel like you want to start fasting after your feast tonight and have tomorrow be an all day fast, don't wait for me. I say go. The more time you have in a supported environment with you practicing your fasting long and feasting well, the more success you're going to have for sure. So, okay, so I got to run. I know you guys got to run too. It's a beautiful day here in Texas. Hopefully it's a beautiful day wherever you are. I'm here for you. Use me, tag me, and have a great time in class. Go all in, have an open mind, experiment, and reap all the benefits this amazing lifestyle can afford you. I'll see you guys in class.